Good morning, everyone. I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. Welcome to this part of our journey. It's really been intense for a lot of people. Um, it's been a lot of crazy and awesome energies coming through, though it's causing a lot of people to feel some struggles, and some of us are feeling an extra strong elation. Um, and let me explain that. It's everyone's on this journey together. We're all here. It's just that as we move through, it's like we're a rope. This is the symbolism I keep being given is that we're like a rope, and though all of us are on this awakening journey, some of the people on the earlier side of the rope are going to have some of the sensations at earlier time than those that are just over here, but we're all moving, trudging forward together. As a result, right now, some people are feeling incredible chaotic energy, um, and just struggles, the density feeling, and all this type of stuff. And some of us are feeling elation and just relief and just floaty. It is just where you are in your healing experience. And the healing isn't something that is like really hard to do. It's just that it's not time consuming is what I mean, but it's kind of, as stuff comes through, we're healing it. And that's why it's coming up right now. Okay. So a lot of stuff to do with the removal of identities, of titles, of putting yourself in certain boxes and things like that. Those things are being asked for us to leave behind now. They've been asking for that for a while. However, right now it's kind of an accelerated moment to have that done. And so we're noticing any of these labels and titles and self imprisonment boxes that we're putting ourselves in. We're noticing them. They're coming up to say, hey, you want to heal me too. So that's what's really coming through right now. And I just wanted to let you all know about that because I have seen a couple of things in different chats and stuff, and people are struggling. They're popping up while I was getting ready for this live. So just letting you all know about this moment that we're in, that it's a beautiful moment. It feels to a lot of people like it's not so beautiful, and I just want to let you know that it is. It's awesome. It's a healing place, and not all healing feels like you're playing while you're doing it. Though much of the healing I'm finding lately has been just that. The more that we let ourselves play, the more that it's like it heals itself. So if you can go into that place of play, whatever play means to you, I know I've been talking about this for months and years and whatever, it's still the story. The more that you can play, the more that you can let yourself go into a place of play, the better. So Vegan Vixen, hello, good to see you. Vanya, hello, Pamela, and all of you guys here. She also says, we have had such a strong influx of light this week. Yes, we have, and it feels amazing. Ascension has never felt more intense and at times overwhelming, but absolutely divine. Love you all. We are the light, and we are the light. Totally agree. It's been really strong. It's going to continue to get stronger over the next couple of it's going to keep getting stronger. We're just going to notice it particularly in this coming week where we're at right now, moving in. There's some pretty cool stuff happening galactically, astrologically, and stuff. So that's kind of like delivering more light code. And so we can definitely feel some more of this kind of sensation. Vegan Vixen asked, did anyone have sinus sores? Sinus/sores in nose. The sinus stuff has been a thing for a while for me, on and off. Noticing different kinds of pressure, not just the sinuses here, but the ones above, particularly this spot. Okay, so it's like a diamond shape, but in this spot right here, where that's where a lot of expression of pressure and the movement of that pressure is coming through right now. So that's something else. Last night was a crazy night, huh, people? Last night was an intense, awesome, amazing night. There was so much experience across the board for me as well. And this is just the beginning of our upgrades to help us. So this sinus stuff, I forgot to answer your question. Sorry, Vegan Vixen. This pressure has been happening on and off for a little while, and the pressure is a notable need for things to leave our body. So we're having like this purging kind of stuff, not, and we're having it in like acne kind of stuff too. I'm getting some weird acne. At my age, you shouldn't have to worry about acne, but all the past year or so, I've been really noticing it in my life. That kind of stuff. So it just puts a purging. I hope that helps you in some way. That is really common right now. The sense of pressure changing is really a thing too. So what we're doing, we're raising our frequency up, right? And we're noticing our body's noticing sensations like we're raising, like we're going through the canyons or something like that. A lot of that kind of sensation, pressure stuff. It's something that's just happening where as we move through. Um, let's see. SS Ladybug 1. So, oh, she's just answering somebody else. Mia says, hello, beautiful high vibe soul. Hello. Hello, everybody, says Esther. Welcome. Vegan Vixen's talking to somebody else. Vanya, I got a computer scan this past week and all is fine except for osteoporosis, which I'm not sure is correct. Still think it's Ascension Symptoms. It's recently appeared on the scan. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad that you're going in and getting checked. I mean, it's not a bad idea to do that. I mostly encourage it because of the sensation that it gives me, the relief, and I'm no longer that place of fear over it. Like I can be in the understanding of it. And so when we go to that place of fear, because a lot of our physical symptoms have been noted throughout our historical moments here, that have been like some kind of illness or dis-ease. And so it's really validating to go in and get a check and make sure, and I get told every time that healthier than I've ever been. So, um, and the bone stuff that actually makes some sense. There's some bone stuff happening right now. A lot of people are feeling what it feels like to some people is like growing pains where your bones you noticeably your bones are growing. That's an interesting concept to consider. Is I've heard from a couple of different sources now that this understanding that we're going to grow taller. And I've been seeing that for a while too. When you go into a higher energy form, I'm always taller. So I wonder, I don't know. I don't have the answer, but it's very interesting to consider. Kelly says, hello from Ireland. Welcome. Such a strong feeling of electricity and static in the air this weekend. Yes. Mm-hmm. Really intense. My kiddo has always been very staticky, and so kissing her or touching her tends to always cause a shock. However, the past little bit, um, it's been even stronger, like to the point where she's like, just don't touch me, and I'm staticky too. So meeting up the two is kind of really, um, and noticing it just in the air, the sensation, that kind of almost distracted energy. I think a lot of that we're sensing and hearing. We're actually hearing some of these frequencies that are not in harmony with us, whether it be whatever it is, some type of signal coming through to you. Sometimes it's just embedded in our content in the media that we watch. And that's an interesting point to consider. We always very aware of what we consume these days. Our body's telling us we have an allergy to this food all of a sudden that we've always eaten or whatever. And as we start to pay attention to the food that we consume, it's also a very good idea to consider the media that you consume, what you consume in your mind. As we consume certain things, sometimes they bring a different vibration than we want to keep. And so that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, so I'm really sensing it too, though. Thanks for mentioning that. Jackie, hello, Jackie. Good to see you. Hi, Pamela and gang. Carmen, hey, brother. My name is Electro. Yes, we've been talking about electricity with a lot of people the past little bit. I would say the past week it's been a conversation point. A lot of people are feeling electrocuted. Also, like, this is just an interesting note. People are talking about my hair popping up, like, when you rub a balloon or you have a lot of static electricity. When I go into public places, like, it's almost like I'm like, stop it, don't touch me. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I'm not a very big touchy person anymore. So I am, though I'm very selective of the energy that I contact. Stacy, hey, beautiful Pamela. Hey, Stacy, good to see you. Hey, my high vibe tribe, says Stacy as well. Hello from Norway, Liv. Welcome, Jackie. Hi, Stacy. 1111. I'm having some pain in my left hand, non-dominant hand, sort of like arthritis. Yeah. Okay. So I had the same thing too, and it was also my left hand. Interesting. Um, so we've had this happen. We've already had it cycle through most of our joints. So like any of the joints, the shoulders, the elbows, the knees, and stuff like that. Um, there is a thing that we're noticing as we're leaving behind this vibration that used to be a great vibration for us. It was part of team body. It was really awesome. It's now become what we're considering something like a parasite because it's no longer in harmony with where we are. As we raise our frequency above it, it's no longer operating at the same density that we are. And so as we're doing that, we're noticing this change. Oh, sorry, I lost my spot. Um, and pulling away of energies. And a lot of times it gets stuck in the corners of your house. And when we smudge, when we sage, when we clear with song bowls and stuff, we always notice we want to do good corners. The same is true for our bodies. So we're having it in the joints, as well as along while this is happening. A lot of these places, these joints, these different places all have their own chakras. Then there's a chakra system, and then there's a chakra. It's really amazing to look at energetically when you can go into it. Um, and so, and in these places, the density is just kind of getting not stuck, but just having a harder time to come out. And so we're noticing this sensation of like, it just hurts. And like, particularly like right here, I was noticing like right here. And you would think it's something like carpal tunnel initially. However, it's just a different sensation. I don't know how else to explain it, but yes, I've had that too. It's gone now. Um, while that was happening, I was also noticing that my healing, the healing nature of my hands, amplified and has stayed in that amplified state. So, a lot of us are getting we already have a lot of these gifts or whatever, and abilities and things, and we just don't know that they're there, or maybe they're just not as strong. And now they're becoming stronger. And as they do, we're noticing a physical sensation in relation to that. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I didn't do very much to it. In meditation, when I'm finding any area of my body that's in disruption or not feeling that great, um, when I bring the light in from God down, usually through my crown count, my crown chakra, my third eye, my throat, or my heart, depending on what you're doing. You just whatever feels correct for you. You can also do it in the others too. I for some reason never have been guided to do that for myself. I do know that assists as well. So bringing that light in, then noticing, visualizing, and sending that white light, that beautiful love that's coming from God to an area of your body, and that often will lead to. If initially it's a cool sensation, it feels cooler because light is cooler than it. That then we're familiar with the temperature being, and then it'll start to heat up. You'll notice a heating up of the area of your body, and often there's a like a throb, almost like you're feeling the heartbeat there. It's really cool to not be alarmed when that's happening, by the way. It's just beautiful. Breathe through it. It doesn't really hurt. It's just an alarming sensation when you first sense it. So that helps. Um, and what that's doing is it's kind of liberating those densities. They don't want to really be there anymore either. They're kind of just, they're like an adult child living in the basement kind of idea where they're just comfortable, but they would do much better if they got to go into their own place and get to express themselves and expand their wings in that way. And so it's kind of like that. So we're just guiding them to a place, and helping them out. Um, Stacy says, I was wearing my roller skates just a little while earlier. Awesome. While cooking dinner. That helped a bit with the energy. That is such a great idea. Anything you can do to introduce play into your everyday life, into the things that you don't enjoy doing, even especially, though I'm finding the need to sing a lot and dance. And when I'm doing things like I've become that person that just la 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 while I'm doing my thing in the grocery store, wherever. Grocery stores I find to be the most difficult to do. There's such a conflicting energy there. There's seeming to be a little more palatable, though it's still that there's that difficult energy conflict. And then all of these energies of these strangers that want to come and engage with me, and it becomes a little bit overwhelming. And so that's where I notice it the most, where I need to engage and play and just be me, whatever. Just get done when you need to get done and have fun doing it. It may take a few minutes longer or whatever, and it doesn't matter. The things that we used to put so much importance on really don't matter. It's really weird. Um, Vicky, she says hello. Jackie, let's see. Okay, Vicky says dizziness is off the charts in this wind. Yes. So the dizziness, the vertigo and lightheadedness stuff. So the dizziness that's changed for me, because this is what's changed, is that it now kind of feels, I'm noticing that it's lighter, like we're in light, and it's easier. And when you feel it, like when you feel it's like it doesn't feel dizzy anymore. I know I've said a few times, and I've not known how to, I still don't know how to convey it properly, to articulate it, is that it feels almost like we just don't know where to put our feet, like not sure which way is up, kind of a sensation. And then when we stop and with intention and ground this light, by grounding this light, I mean just letting it, just pulling it through, again, typically through, I'm doing the heart chakra and the crown chakra the most, pulling that light through and then letting it move down, 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 pass through all your chakras, and then anchor yourself, like digging a root system with that light below you. You can do that when you're, walking around. It's kind of fun in the store to like envision like these roots coming out with every step as you walk through, and just kind of, it's helping. So, um, it makes it so I can notice what this energy is supposed to feel like, if that makes any sense. Hi, hello there in the sky. Esther says yes, almost hearing the energies. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. It's almost like a consciousness. I feel as if I am um, stuck between two worlds. Yes, we're not really stuck, but we are definitely, I know exactly what you're saying. We are in both planes right now. We're in motion. So what it looks like visually is you have a foot on this stair, the step of the staircase, and a foot on this step, and there's no motion yet. Like it's just before that the next foot moves up to the stair above it. Does that make sense? And so that in between world sensation, and then when we do that, we also notice each foot. So first you notice over here, and you back and forth, and it feels like like a really crazy version of bipolar, honestly. And allowing yourself to know that, to give yourself permission to feel that, I've noticed, helps for that motion of that foot below to start to move. And in that's when we get the most sensation of dizziness and disorientation, when we're doing that, when we're moving to that next place. And that's what we're starting to do right now. A lot of people are lifting the weight from that back foot. And so there's a lot of like, oh my gosh, like overwhelming excitement, and also kind of scary a little bit, kind of like the first time riding your bike without training wheels, where it's just like, yay, oh, I don't, like not sure. That's what we're doing right now. So to allow yourself to be confident, knowing that you're safe, knowing that no harm will befall you, that you're completely protected. Allow your motion to move. Go ahead and try it out. You're not going to go get stuck someplace else. You're just moving. And when we let ourselves move, when we go with that flow, everything is just easier. It feels easier, it feels happier, and it's enjoyable. It becomes a crazy trip, but awesome one. In this guy says, intense, eerie feeling, heaviness layers getting more intense, yet I feel them slowly dissolving. They are harder to endure, and knowledge comes usually from seeds of thought sprout from the mind early. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love this. And this has been happening to me a lot too, just like randomly. It's like, hmm, here's a word. What's that word mean? That's really strange. I've never heard that word. Let's go find out. It feels like an important word. And, you go to YouTube or something, and it's like, oh, this is all this stuff now all of a sudden. And it's like, whoa, yeah, I know this stuff, but I don't know how I know it. I just know it. And then you remember why you know it and how you know it. It's really cool. Just follow that. I call them rabbit holes. That's actually why there's the Mad Hatter right there. It says, we're all mad here. Or so we're all quite mad here. You'll fit right in. And the sensation of being not sure if you're in the place that if we're crazy or not, is usually the early sensation of a lot of us in this awakening space, being conditioned to not believe, and to be calling ourselves crazy or those things. We're finding that, more and more it's easier in this experience that we're all in right now. There are so many people in the awakening journey that it's easier to trust yourself and to have a lot of validation, and which is really cool. So if any of you are just new on this awakening journey, you came at the right time. This is so much going to be so much easier for you in some ways, and then other ways it's like you're trying to get a sip of water from a fire hydrant, because there's just so much information, where people like me have been collecting these things along the way for quite some time, and so it's easier to access this information now as well. um, so the heaviness, by the way, the layers and stuff that you were talking about in the sky is something that we've all been sensing in some way or another, and that's the movement that we're talking about before. That step that was taken, that motion, is a layering away from it. So once you're up here on this step, then the step below feels really, really dense, and so that's where that is at. So knowing that you're moving through that and away from that really helps sometimes. Um, so SS Ladybug 1, yes, left hand, dominant hand though. Okay. So it's I don't know. This is divine feminine side, as from the spiritual teaching that I was raised with, and the First Nations kind of stuff. And so this is the divine feminine. I've noticed a lot of divine feminine kind of stuff lately too. It switched back over to divine masculine recently, then now it's back over here. So we're just anchoring and finding a balance between, because each of us, no matter what gender your body is and what you identify as, we all have divine masculine and divine feminine that are being anchored in us and helping us to find balance as it's coming down globally. Hello from Miami, Lisa. Welcome. Mother Nature 61. Good afternoon, beautiful souls. I'm having left hand pain too. Lots of coughing. I asked my spirit guides to help me clear out stuck energy. It's a little better today. Yes. So let's talk about the coughing for a second. This is really cool. Okay. All of a sudden, I've been having this over the past little while too. And I didn't understand what it was until now, until recently. Is that each time that we cough, it's just like that. When we're doing meditation healing stuff, you know how you breathe in through your nose and then you hold it for a minute. And then when you're ready to send that light or send whatever to it, you exhale like hard, like, it's the same concept. Is that when we cough, we're creating an intention. It's like a quick push instead of like a gradual the motion, if that makes any sense. So the coughing is an activating thing, and there are toxins a lot of us are having or have, and toxin can be anything. It's just something that's not in harmony with your body, so a lot of us are noticing the movement of that toxin as well through that, as well as, and I'm just going to say it, some really strange bowel movement stuff for people who are having. And that is that same thing. It's that movement of those things that are in harmony with us, that we've kind of kept along with us for a long time, and it's moving out, and so it's just a different experience. And so there's that purging stuff still. And again, I think we're going to be purging for a little while. We've collected a lot. And then also we leave behind that which isn't serving us in that moment that we're in. It's not considering where you're going to be in a week or a month or however long. And so once you get to another point, noticing that there's stuff that needs to be purged, and then that's purged. Otherwise, I saw an image. I was shown a vision of what it would be like to purge everything at the same time, and it doesn't look fun. Vomiting and all kinds of stuff. So it's really meant to be very easy, slow, and being able to move through without causing you too much difficulty. I'm glad that your energy, or that's a little bit better today, though, Mother Nature. That's awesome. And this guy says crazy amount of numbers of synchronicities and messages being shown everywhere in phrases and songs, signs, billboards, shopping signs. So many personal messages like I'm in a sci-fi movie. Congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, being there is really fun because you really understand, and it helps a person, any one of us, to be able to trust in ourselves more, to believe in, to trust in your own intuition and your own truth, is when you get validated that way, and more you start to get to see how much of the reality that you exist in that we're really truly creating. and how much of it is really a back and forth conversation, like an open telephone line to the higher realms at all times, on speakerphone. And it's always, and we're always connecting, where there's always a conversation of energy. That's always been the case since your birth, and will continue to be a conversation after, since before your birth. Let's be more clear about that. And so that this conversation that you're having, it's awesome that you found the sweet spot. I'm happy that you're there. Stay with it. Continue to let yourself play and be in a place of joy. If you can go to your highest joy, you're in your mission. You're doing the job that you came here for. And that place of play is where we do it. It's amazing. It's cool. It's surprising when you find that out. Wow, there's a lot. I jumped down to the bottom on accident, so I maybe I'll try to just go find where I was at, and let's see. I'm sorry about that. 1111, I'm also seeing more vivid and brighter visuals. Trees and grass are greener. Yes, 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 yes. Trees and grass are greener. Nature in general is getting more and more beautiful. And there are more species. There really are. Some of them look like dinosaurs, kind of. Like there's these little guys that look like they're birds, but they're dinosaurs. Like they don't have feathers. They're happy. They look different. And they kind of have feathers, I guess. They have some around their head, but there's creatures that other people see. Okay, it's not like other people are seeing this. And the colors being more vibrant. You're seeing, we are already on new Earth. Okay, we're already living on Gaia. It's not even really new to Earth. It's called Gaia, or she calls herself Gaia, I guess. And we're already there. What we're doing now is allowing ourselves to realize that. Does that make sense? Like we're allowing ourselves to see what's truly before us. If we are taught over and over and over again to agree that we're manifesting a specific reality through media, through just the way that the peer groups work and have been intentionally constructed. If you think about it, we've been taught every day what to expect in our reality, and so we just do that. That's just an automatic thing until we start to allow ourselves to see what's truly before you. The colors are much more vibrant. There are more species. The sky is different. The planet's bigger. And there's a lot more water here. Like a lot more water. All of a sudden, and all of this stuff is different. And plus the spaces in between. So like you got the earth, and then you got like the rings of inhabitants in existence. That's always been the case, but there's more of them. There's more of them now. Interesting. I just realized that's the same symbolism that who was it that had taught everybody about Atlantis back in the day? I can't remember if it was Homer. Um anyway, the story that was told about Atlantis was those rings, the same rings that you see in the planet. And they're all different. Wow, that's interesting. I wonder. No, sorry, that was a little bit of a ramble. Um um Young Nif, I'm not sure if I said your name right. I apologize. Anybody been having body aches and needing to go number one more frequently? Yes. Um, all of the above. There's so the body aches, the motion of that movement is us reaching into that DNA that's kind of waking up. So we're noticing it's kind of like, something's not been used for a while. It feels cramped. It needs to stretch, and it's just like that's what a lot of us are noticing. As well as the movement of the water. We're actually needing more and more water. We need to drink more and more water, and not just water, though, like also juices. And I tend to drink a lot of tea, variety of different kinds. And your body will want what it is your body needs, right? So something sounds or tastes good to you, that's usually what your body needs. When you drink something that's not, you don't feel quenched in the other way too. This is intended because we're bringing in so much plasma right now. We're bringing in so much light, and the light can move through much more efficiently when we have a higher water content in our body. And that's what that is. However, I'm noticing too that we're cycling through the water that we're containing. And so that water, we're going to the bathroom a lot more. And noticing the purging of that water a bit. The Buddha belly stuff has a lot of that has been water as well as air. And so we're noticing a lot of people like having like burping and flatulence and just a lot of different movement of air. And that's really helping a lot of that movement. I'm going to skip ahead just a bit because I have so many. I want to make sure I address everybody. I'm sorry if I skipped you and it's important. Please, are you really like me to read it? Please go ahead and write it again. I apologize. Crazy ear buzzing, both ears. So ear ringing has gone up. Ear ringing always goes up when we go up on frequency. It's like, I don't know, an orientation, getting yourself in that place, where you can like find that free balance in that frequency. So we start to have ear ringing, vertigo-like symptoms as well. And that's that not sure what the perspective is kind of thing that's happening. That's us moving into that higher frequency space. It's cool when you're not driving or something like that. So if you are, I would definitely suggest pulling over for a moment. Um, let's see. Dizziness is all the time. Can't drive, can't work. I have no life. Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa. So can't really say it's ascension. So I'm scared. Sorry, excuse me. Speaking of the coughing, that just came out of nowhere. So this dizziness stuff, I had it happen really strong at a very important catalytic point in my awakening. The first time that was really noticeable, it lasted for a long time. I really struggled with it. I didn't drive for a lot of time. A lot of times when I was getting ready to go someplace, it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't go today because can't drive, or I shouldn't drive. It wouldn't be reasonable or responsible. And then it started to go away. It started to get better, and I was able to kind of be in that space. That probably lasted for a summer for me. And I also didn't know what was happening exactly too, so it didn't really help. Um, However, what was interesting was at the same times for just magically, there were a variety of things that changed in my life that made it so I didn't have to drive as much. So I don't know. It goes away. That's what I can tell you. It does go away. It just takes a bit of time. Jackie says, I've been experiencing so much low back and pelvic nerve pain. I've been doing the Ananda Mandela breathing technique to help move, release. It's been so intense. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this. This has been something a lot of people are going through. So each chakra of the vertebrae, and we're talking about starting at the brain stem all the way down to the tip of your tailbone, to the end of that whole spinal system. Each one of the vertebrae, as well as the plates in between and all the different stuff that makes up that whole back, are all coming online in their chakras. It's amazing looking at it energetically. It looks like lights going all of a sudden, just and everyone's getting something like that right now. It's kind of fun to walk around the shops and see people. You see it go, and then they go, oh, So when that's happening, it's just a turning on. It's a turning on process. And that's when I tend to really go for the water, not even just drinking it, but interacting with it. I find that I'm like playing with the water. When I walk by anything that has water, I'm touching the water. Like there's something about water that really helps. Hey, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Speaking of synchronicities, I always see that number. It's a good number too. And so like allowing yourself to interact with water helps. The consciousness of water is here to help us. And when we send love to it, we change the very chemical makeup of the water. You can see the examples of it. It's really cool. I actually don't know how to put up images during a live. Otherwise, I'd show you. I can't even remember the gentleman's name. That this beautiful Japanese man who had really made it famous. Where when you speak kind things to the water, it changes versus when you speak unkind things to the water. And it's beautiful when you can tell that what someone has said and done with the water has been of a higher light, because it's like a much more beautiful structure. And if you say something unkind or something like that, then it diminishes. It gets more brown looking. It's just really interesting. I tell you this because you can speak love to the water, and the love from that water will be amplified and heal you more. Like this is the concept of the we didn't even realize it, that the holy water. We are often making something similar to holy water when we interact with it, when we engage with the water, and with a love and appreciation and a gratitude. I also thank the water, excuse me, for giving me what it is I need. Like, and that is giving it the understanding and the knowing of what I'm seeking from it. So then it'll do it. Please excuse me, I need a quick drink. Excuse me. And so that will help us to use the water to heal us in a more efficient and strong way. It's really cool. Carmen says, March and April always hits me the hardest when it comes to ascension symptoms. Yeah, this is a window of time right now where It always happens for everybody. This moving into this window. This year in particular is incredibly strong. Like, I feel like I'm floating on the top of a not a turbulent one, though, an ocean where there's just, like, a lot of, like, wow, a lot of motion. It's really cool, um, and very buoyant feeling. This energy that's coming in, we have a really so there's this kind of solar eclipse that happens every 10 years, that we're getting twice this year. And one of them, for where I am in the States, it will at Pacific Standard Time, it will happen on April 19th and it'll start at 3:36 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This particular eclipse we won't see where I live, though over Australia and a few other places I can't remember, you will see it. This eclipse is that you can see a perfect ring of the sun just behind the shadow. The the science, I don't know, is I don't know if I trust the science of it or not, but for one reason or another, it's so much smaller than the sun. And so that you see a ring of a ring in the sky, you know. Um, then we're also getting one that will be seen over the states in October. I can't remember what the date. Anyway, so it's kind of funny. It's like once in every 10 years, and we're getting it twice. Also, though, is that every time that there's an eclipse or anything like that, there's an incredible energy that comes with it. It feels like a portal or a gateway. It's like, wow. And we've been feeling it for days already. What's fascinating is during this window of time that we're talking about, and even into the next couple of weeks, almost every other day, there is a planetary alignment or event, you know? And so we're having like, I think the 21st in particular has a lot going on. There's lining ups and there's things going into retrograde. Mercury, I think, goes into retrograde at that time. I know. Um, and like there are other things like we're getting a um asteroid asteroids are coming through, a lot of stuff. So anyway, just keeping in mind all of these energies, all of those things always tend to increase our experience. And it's also available for us to use as a way of healing. It helps us, you have more fertile ground of healing in that place. It jumped all the way down again. Um, okay. Jackie says, I haven't noticed much yet, actually. Oh, okay, she's talking to somebody else. Remnock, I appreciate Pamela's work to help people cope. I pray everyone will get more in touch with their inner God self, and that will unite to move forward together. This is very much what's happening. And thank you for your kind words, Remnock. This is very much what's happening right now. A lot of people are connecting for the first time. Most of us have spent the vast majority of our lives believing that we were alone, that we were weird, that we were like some kind of outlier in this experience, and finding out more and more that there are a lot of us, and that we can connect in this way. I'm having a lot of weird stuff with my lungs just right now while we're speaking, so I don't know what that's about. I'm not in pain or distress. I'm just noticing that my voice sounds different. Um, Anyway, so a lot of this stuff that's occurring is helping us to reunite with our own energy. And when we reunite with that energy, we're able to see that we're all the same energy, that there is no division, that we are connected, and we can do that through the internet at this time. And we have been. Those of you who don't know, we meet every Friday for free on a Zoom meeting. We do a big group thing. You know, sometimes we get up to 16 or more people, but usually it's closer to 11 individuals who come on screen or off screen. You can have your audio or your camera on or off, and just connecting with each other. It's really cool. Like, it's fun to be able to have such immediate validation, as well as people who have solutions. If you are a little shy and don't want to do anything like that, there's also the Telegram group that we have, that we connect to each other, that we are able to ask questions in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day or whatever. There's people always awake because there's people from all over the planet that are in those groups, and we can just share notes and get support as well as give healing. It's really cool to watch the community come together. Mother Nature says, Pamela, the lung thing and coughing was a lot yesterday for me. Today is much better. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's just really strange, and it wasn't like this until we started to talk, though. Um, there's a lot that moves through us as we go. Okay, let me try to catch. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. For one reason or another, my chat screen keeps going down to the bottom, and I'm missing a lot of comments. Anyone waking up during witching hours, I'll wake up. Witching hours is about 3 a.m., by the way. I wake up with my back scorching hot. Then when I wake up, I'm freezing through the day with random hot flashes in my back during the day. So yeah, I can validate this for sure. So the 3 a.m. thing, no matter where you are in the planet, people tend to wake up at that time. It's just a thing. Sometimes it's 3:33, but it's around 3 somewhere. And that has always been known as much earlier it was known as the witching hour, because at that time there was a heightened spiritual activity that happened. Excuse me. And during that heightened activity, it was considered that the veil was thinnest at that time. Also, at that same time, no matter where you are on the planet, there's a hum. The earth makes this noise. It's like, it's like really deep, and you can feel it coming through you. Like you can feel it moving through your bones. Even though it's not vibrating you, it feels like it really is. This is called the Taos hum. They call it that because I think in Mexico, Taos, Mexico, there is a place that they had done a study, and that's where the name came from. However, it happens everywhere, all over the whole planet at 3 a.m. Predictably every day. I didn't know that was a thing. I just knew I noticed it, and I thought that, anyway. So when that's happening, we also get a lot of upgrades. We get a lot of healing. We get alignments. Most energies that are coming through to heal us and to give us assistance are usually presenting themselves at that time. And then usually the waking part, I find from my own experience, is my higher self or my guides. Somebody saying, hey, they're here. You want to use this or no? You want to sleep? What's up? And usually I find myself kind of sleepwalking during that time. Like I'm not really sleepwalking exactly. I'm walking while almost asleep. Like I feel like I need to get up and go get orange juice. It's an orange juice thing when I have like those kind of interactions. And so I'll go get the orange juice and then I'll do the healing. And it's something that also during that time at the 3 a.m. time, when I'm woken at that time, I can choose if I want to connect to these other energies. We're talking about higher realms as well as like variety of ET species and groups. You can say yes or you can say no. We're now in the time of consent, where before it was implied consent because no one knew that there was consent being given. And so, allowing yourself to decide in that consent has been this new liberation that we've had. Hey, there's 90 people here. That's the most we've had. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for your support. I'm so impressed by this strange YouTube thing that I was very reluctant to do for so long. And just as these energies continue to assist us and bring us up at that 3 a.m. time, you can also use your audio on your phone is what I do. So I can like start a conversation that I can remember later on. Cause that's the thing I find. I want to know what happened last night. I remember some of it, but I don't remember all of it. And so I want to. And so what I'll often do is I'll turn the audio on. So as I speak, cause I tend to channel to myself too. Then this channeling can be recorded and then I can go back and go, oh yeah, and it jogs the memory just enough. The same works for dreams. If you want to remember your dreams, you can also do the audio with that. Dreams are also often, if not always, having to do with us in our astral form, having astral experiences, moving into this place where we're interacting with almost a committee. It feels like a group of individuals who are all here to support us and help us and guide us. And so it's really useful for us, mostly for entertainment value, to be honest. It's to remember what those things are by starting an audio file. By doing that, I don't have to pull too far away from my consciousness of my sleep and into consciousness. And so then it comes out more easily. Then I can go back and listen to it later on. And that will jog the memory enough to remind me of that occurrence. It's kind of cool. Jackie says, hit the like button for Pamela. Thank you very much for saying that, Jackie. Remnock says, these energies drain us of electrolytes. Stop orange juice craving. Makes sense to replenish minerals and balance pH. Oh, yes. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that explanation. I appreciate that. Molly says, thank you. My severe gluten allergy suddenly disappeared. My gray hair is growing brown. Okay, this is something that's happened to a lot of people. Thank you for sharing that, Molly. Yeah. So the hair thing is the most noticeable one for people. We are, it sounds strange, we are really going through a de-aging process. It's really bizarre. And I've gone back through images of myself too and just been like, whoa, that's just so weird that was, I was how old? Um, and as we're doing that, the first thing we notice is our hair. Our hair returns to its natural color. I don't dye my hair at all. And I seeing my siblings and just I had a couple of grays growing in a couple of years ago and they haven't come back. Though the one that I've noticed are the biggest ones. So like my friend, all of a sudden her dyed hair goes away, goes back to her natural color, and her natural color no longer has any gray. Fast forward 6 months, there's no roots like that. She's really back to being her natural color. Um, Stronger fingernails, noticing our hair feels different, like it's softer, strange. You know, hair just my hair is lightening up. I'm getting a lighter color than before, but that makes sense because your hair gets darker when it's full of toxins, and as we're purging, we're moving closer into our the lighter color of our hair. So a lot of cool stuff with hair. There are some individuals who are having some stuff with their hair loss. They're losing parts of their hair. Their hair is thinning. Um, that's something that I personally haven't had experience with, but a lot of people are having it. You know, I've also not had the experience with dyeing my hair because I don't. So there's a variety of things that just because I'm not having it doesn't mean it's not happening. You know, like a lot of people are going through it. Excuse me. Molly says, "Wow, yes, how absolutely amazing this is. Yeah, it's really cool. That's awesome that you're aware of it. And the allergy thing, we're going back and forth. And so some of the things that we have all of our lives or for a portion of our lives had an allergy to something, we're finding that we're in harmony with now. And the vice versa things. So other things that we had been typically eating without problem, all of a sudden are no longer something that our body wants and it rejects it very quickly. In fact, talking to the local doctors here, it's kind of fun to hear how many individuals are coming in with new allergies. You know, every age group, we're talking about every age group. And these allergies are, to specific foods are coming through for them because it no longer serves them. It's no longer in harmony with them. And that makes a lot of sense. You know, just like everything else, as we leave something behind doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It served us. It served us well. It was useful to us. And now it's not. You know, there doesn't have to be any kind of emotional connection to it. Sometimes we do. Sometimes because, you know, we associate food with comfort sometimes, or certain kinds of food remind us of things. And so it is kind of sad sometimes to leave behind certain types. However, it doesn't take very long before we find that it's just awesome and we're in a great space for, you know, and whatever it is our body wants. It's craving a lot of weird things. I've noticed that people have been reporting some really strange cravings, and I had that too. I'll have that in bursts. Like all of a sudden I just feel like chewing on an onion, and it's not that I need to introduce onion into my life. It's I'm finding as soon as I do that, then there's a purging. And I know that that onion, when you cut an onion in half and put the freshly cut side against something that has an infection or some kind of an issue going on underneath the skin, then it'll draw that infection out. You can do that with ear aches, with chest colds, with all kinds of stuff. So it makes sense that eating the onion, it'll absorb all of this toxin and then let it move through your body a lot easier. So that's one example. So I bring that up because some people had reported to me that all of a sudden they wanted raw onions in Jello. They wanted, it was just, the theme was everyone was craving onion. And so I just kind of wanted to bring that up to the group too, because that a lot of people are having whatever it is your body's calling for to detox, right? Another useful thing is to use um, Epsom salt in the bath. I'll notice that when I'm going through a strong detoxing phase, that in the bath there'll be small microscopic, almost black sand left behind when I use the Epsom salt, and it's like helping draw whatever that is, that whatever that's not serving me at that time, out of my system and helping me, you know. And so it's just another way to purge. Tabitha says, third earring hole that I haven't used in over 10 years has swelled and expelling fluid, as if when you wear cheap earrings. I guess it's purging. Yes. Okay. So this is an interesting point. So the earrings, specifically where you put the earring. So the short version is acupuncturists will look at the ear like an upside down baby in the fetal position, and this particular ear hole would be the third eye, and that's why a lot of people are drawn to put an earring there, put like a crystal or a diamond or something there to amplify the third eye. And so if you think about where your that spot right there would be your feet, and maybe there's something going on there. Um, it's really interesting though. I do notice that kind of thing happening. Like all even if I don't have an earring hole in a spot, I'll notice a particular part of my ear swelling, and that swelling will be associated directly to a body part. And you brought up a really useful topic, is that a lot of these ascension symptoms that we're having is not simply us suddenly having this thing, is that we're noticing it. Like Dolores Cannon's teachings explaining that a lot of our emotional baggage has to do with a past life incarnation, or this life incarnation, something we haven't healed through emotionally. If you're noticing a specific organ or part of your body, area of your body, just jump on the internet and do a search. In the search engine, writing something like emotion associated with clavicle. I don't know. I just came up with something random. And it'll tell you. You can also go to these acupuncturist sites, and they'll have diagrams for you, so you can just do this understanding of the full diagram and spectrum of our body. So as this is happening, also keeping in mind areas of our ear, as well as our hands and our feet. The soles of our feet also are telling us certain things, where certain like calluses are, or pains, or certain um, discomforts that are happening in those areas can be directly associated. Our body's been telling us for a long time, heal this, please heal this. And it's not had a way to um, effectively articulate this to you. And so now it's finding its ways. And so those are a couple of different suggestions. So as we have these different ascension symptoms, we can help ourselves by addressing the underlying emotional issue, rather than taking medications, new medications. I should say, I have nothing against whatever you choose to do for you. um, it's like putting a band-aid on it and letting that wound fester, without having addressed it. So it's something to consider, looking at what that association is with it. um, okay, so Will says roar is a good electrolyte drink. Used it when I worked in nursing. Awesome. I've never heard of that. I like the name of it though. Tabitha, third earring. Oh, yeah, I already said that. Brandy, seeing 144, 1111, 222, 555 all the time. Waking up at 3:03 with my chest vibrating and humming. I also see tracer lights when I get up and move around, very matrix like, as if I'm still in the astral plane. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. The synchronicities become more and more frequent the more that you're in alignment. I've noticed that too. The higher that we're going up, the more that these synchronicities happen. What's really cool about them is whatever they mean. Like, you can look it up as angel numbers or whatever. The definition of those angel numbers are helpful, though that's not the only message. The main message that I'm told to say to everyone is that it's saying we're here. We're here with you. We're here in support of you. We got you. You're okay. You know, just trying to remind everyone that they're supported, and that to allow yourself to do it what it is you're motivated to do, guiding you to just follow the flow. We are the river, and it's beautiful, and it's play. And as we follow this flow, as we move through this, as we're being guided to do it, then we get to find peace. We get to find this higher realm. We get to find this energy that we've been seeking out. All of a sudden, realizing how safe and protected you are allows you to, just like a child when mama's near, knowing that you can do whatever. It doesn't matter if you fall, you'll be picked right up. And that's what these synchronicities are meant to do for us. Seeing the lights and things like the matrix and the humming is very much you raising your frequency. So congratulations. A lot of these energies are already here and have been here a long time. They've been in support of you. You have a team of light that surrounds you. Like, they're all around behind me right now too. We all have them. And it's just that up until recently, many of us weren't able to perceive them in any way. Like sometimes we'd sense them or we'd notice something flicker here and there from the corner of your eye, though now we're starting to truly get to see it. And so, congratulations. Um, you can tell if it's a good energy or not by using your spiritual discernment. This place here, you can send out the I love you. Like that when you say I love you to somebody, just remember what it feels like to say that to somebody you love deeply. And then sending that love out. If it is of love, it will answer back with an amplified version of that love. Like it's really intense. It's awesome. It's, that's some kind of drug, I'm telling you. And if it's not of love, you're sending that vibration of love out will make it go. It will flee. For shadow cannot stand before the light. It makes it uncomfortable and it has to run away. This also works on people. Um, if they are of a lower energy or there's some type of a parasitical attachment to them that's a lower frequency that's kind of messing with them or whatever, when you send the I love you out to them, it'll also make them really uncomfortable and leave. What's cool is you can actually see it come off their neck. Sometimes it's on the other side. You can like this shadow. It's just like, rah. It doesn't like the love. It makes it uncomfortable. And that is your strongest weapon, if you want to call it a weapon, against anything that's not of the light, is to use the light. Send it the light. It doesn't like it. It wants you to be in a place of fear. When you're in a place of fear, you're easier controlled, as well as you're more susceptible to false information and believing that it's true. So allowing yourself to be in that higher place, that place of love, will move you past that experience and help you to accelerate. And again, like I said, to use that love as a weapon, sending it out at these individuals, these people, these humans, it also helps them. A lot of them will find them come back around again later on, and they're happier and they're more liberated. And often now all of a sudden they're on the awakening experience too, and so you've in some way healed them by helping that energy not want to be there by sending love to them. So it's kind of cool. And then you don't have to worry about the drama in your life anymore too. It works out. That hum, Sylvia says, that low hum that you talked about as the earth sending it out, it seems like a spaceship hum to me. Not that I know what that sounds like. It's really interesting. There is another hum that that you may be talking about. Maybe it might be the same thing. Um, it's this energy. Well, it sounds almost like like one of those large delivery trucks putting their vehicle in neutral and just that kind of a hum. It's like it's very loud in your ear, um, kind of seeming like it's shaking stuff. That's usually a lower frequency trying to interact with you. I find. I also have put up every night and every day I put up like this white light bubble around me, sending the channeled light from God through and blowing it up. And so it's not able to interact with me, so it kind of pisses it off. Sorry for saying that, but it does. And so then it kind of feels like it jars me. And so it sounds to me like that really annoying, difficult sound to tolerate of a large delivery vehicle in neutral, just humming away. So I don't know. That's interesting, though. It depends on how you feel about it, though. If it feels like it's a good thing, it doesn't feel like it's an annoying thing, then um, it might be something different. I know some stuff. I'm not an all knowing individual, an all seeing, all knowing spatula, but they used to call me spatula in high school for some reason. Pamela and spatula don't rhyme. However, my high school stoner friends were convinced that Pamela and spatula rhymed. So anyway, on that lovely note, I love you all so much. Thank you all for joining me today. Hey, we got up to 99 today. Cool. Thank you. Um, it's been so cool having this experience with you all. And please know that you're not alone. We really are doing this together. Even when we're not interacting, we're doing this energetically. When you send out the love for yourself, you're helping the other people and connecting with the other individuals on this awakening journey, just as I am and just as anybody else. And we're connecting in that way and realizing the higher up we go, the more we see that we're fused in a beautiful, loving, energetic way. And if you would like, please feel free to join us on Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our free Zoom meeting. I always put the link in the community section of this YouTube channel. And there's also, there was something else that I was going to say and I totally forgot. Anyway, oh yeah, and also if you choose to join our Telegram group, the link for that is in the description of this video. You can click that link. It's considered private, so people just can't wander into it. You need that link, so click the link if you want to join our Telegram group and participate in this beautiful awakening journey where this team light gets together and supports each other, knowing each other and themselves. I love you all so much. I hope you continue to have a lovely journey. Blessings.